Trey. Let's get reaction now with Republican Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis. So thank you for being here. First of all, I'm curious, we saw the president say he supports Israel, but then at every turn seems to push back against the Israeli operation, holding back weapons. Is this just prolonging the conflict and allowing Hamas to gain sympathy, aside from what happened over this weekend?
I do think it's prolonging the conflict. He held back $1 billion, meaning President Biden held back $1 billion that could be used to convert bombs into very precision-targeted ammunition. That's exactly what Israel needs. Now, why the Biden administration would hold back the precision capabilities they need and then complain when something like this happens is beyond me. We provided over $14 billion recently to help Israel prosecute this war as they determine is best. They were the country that was invaded by Hamas. They were the people who lost over 1,200 innocent civilians. Hamas burned babies. Hamas raped women. They took hostages. 5 of those hostages are Americans. Why we aren't more focused on the hostages than we are on making sure that Israel prosecutes this war in the manner that we would deem best is just beyond me. This is not America's role, telling Israel how to prosecute this war.
Senator,
and we know from past, go ahead.
Yeah, no, Senator, I want to, before we get in, I want to get in this other subject. This is a hard turn related to this, but I want to switch gears a little bit because I want to get this in the time we have left. You're starting a pro-crypto army in Congress. What's that about?
Well, when I came to the U.S. Senate, nobody knew anything about digital assets. Nobody knew the difference between Bitcoin and alternative coins. And so we've worked hard to educate members of the Senate. We created a financial innovation caucus. Kirsten Gillibrand and I put together a financial framework for the management of the entire crypto industry. We now are seeing some of the fruits of those labors, planting the seeds of understanding within the Congress about how this asset class is growing, how Bitcoin is a store of value and a means of exchange, how Ethereum is possibly a blockchain platform that can be used for a variety of applications. So this is an industry that's starting to gain the attention of everyday Americans, and it's going to be an important part of our economy going forward unless we blow it.
Yes, so that lawmaker body, so the Senate understands what this is basically, and how possibly to regulate it going forward. Yeah, interesting. Now, before we go, last week you pumped gas as the group Americans for Prosperity rolled back prices at its station in Wyoming to the levels of before President Biden took office, when former President Trump was in office. What was that about?
Well, one of your earlier interviews, who was speaking for the Biden administration, said that we're pumping more oil and gas than we ever have before. Well, then why aren't prices coming down at the pump? We need to produce more, as Kevin O'Leary said. We need to produce enough that we can meet our own needs, be energy independent, and export to other economies. So the prices are high because we're not producing as much as we need to have prices that the American people can afford within their own budgets. Gas is up over 50% around the country from what it was when President Trump was president. And they are cutting back on 1.2 million acres in Wyoming where oil and gas could be produced on federal land, putting it off limits, trying to put off all of our coal. Our coal is producing 60% of all the electricity in this country. We must produce more. We must have policies that allow us, America, to be energy independent again. The reason prices are so high in the grocery store is partly because gas and oil is so high that the transportation to get food and clothing into those stores for people to buy is driving the price up.
Right. And Senator, this is an argument that's been going on for a while. I appreciate your time on this. Senator Lummis from Wyoming, thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Edward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So coming up close.